Welcome to another tutorial. My name is Chrognar, and today we're going to talk about design conventions in games and how to use structs with Python components. Because sometimes you just need a big, fat, massive struct to insert into your game. So, first thing we need to do is we're going to create a file for our components, and then we'll create another file for our struct that we'll call gdata. And we'll go into Helix real quick. Alright. So the first convention that built your Blender and, well, specifically BGE is built around is called Object-Oriented Programming, or OOP. And it's fine. It works. So basically, you have your parent class. Oops. And then you have these other instances of objects called child classes that inherit all the traits of the parent. And then you have tertiary classes. And there could be more than two, there could be a bunch, right? Inherited from their child. We could call this an object, sure. Object. Object 2, Object 3. And Object 4. So in OOP, for object here to talk to object 4 has to go up through its parent, up through the child, up to the parent, back down to the child, and to the object to talk to it and get stuff. And we could also send signals across, or messengers, between the different objects, right? And at the end you have a game that works, but it could be a total mess. It could be a total mess to maintain, right? And the next thing we could talk about is ECS, which you can emulate in UPBGE. What you do is you create a component called entity. And the only thing in it is basically a variable that's the entity ID. And then you have a component that you call a component. In fact, we'll say a module called entity, a module called component. And it basically has all the data for the specific object you're attaching it to. And then you have systems. And systems have all the functionality. So basically all the functions, they need to do stuff. So entities have the entity ID. Data, components attach the data to the entity. And the systems basically manipulate the data to change things, right? And do stuff. And this works great because then, like, do we have some kind of down arrow we can use? Oh, we can use V. Okay. So basically, there's just a straight hierarchy. It's a straight line that goes from entity to component to system. And the idea is that systems only talk to other systems if we have a separate entity, right? And it has its own component data. And the systems talk to each other, and then this system would basically manipulate that data. So that's fairly clean, right? Pretty good. And that's another way you could do it. And then there's another way to do it that Jonathan Blow and some other game designers talk about that I like to call mess. Or mess. Which is massive entity and subsystems. Sub is just there to make it mess, but it's just systems. Massive entity and systems. So for this, what you have is you have a big struct that has all the data. And then you can instantiate it to another object that also has all the data. And then you attach to it. Basically, then you can attach and detach all the systems. So from a design perspective, what this allows is basically you could have a tree catch on fire, but you could also have a character catch on fire, and the data's already there. So then, like if there's a variable inside the big struct called is on fire, and it's usually set to false, right? All you have to do to initiate the logic in your systems for it to catch fire is set it to true. And so that might be a way to go, right? But how would you do this in Blender if it's OOP or if you're using ECS? Well, I'm going to show you how to make a struct that you can then apply to all your components and all your objects and components if you wanted. And then basically all you have to do is change the entity ID, but all the data, all the behavior that can happen in each object can happen. That way you're doing the whole dry thing, right? Do not repeat yourself. If I can type, right? But whatever. So, how are we going to do a struct that we can import and apply to a entity component? Well, first we're going to create a class. So let's go and open our G data. So and what we're going to do is we're going to import. We don't need to import anything. We just need to create a class called struct. And then we need to create a dunder function called init. And all it's going to take is self. And then we can create our variables. So let's do self dot int id is equal to an integer, self dot entity name is equal to a string, self dot let's do world position. This is when we're going to actually want to start importing things. So, and what I'm doing here is I'm using a naming convention, right? So, should go ahead and do that. So this naming convention means this is going to be a static variable that's not going to change. And then we'll do world position is equal to, and then we have to go ahead and import a couple classes. So from mathutils, import vector from mathutils. If I can spell right. Import quaternion. And then self.world position will be equal to vector fill 3. So that'll give us an XYZ vector. Self dot rotation is equal to quaternion. What else do we want to do? Let's say it has a self.hp. That'll be an int. Self dot is dead. It's equal to a bool. Actually, we'll add that later because I need to show you something in UPBGE. So, all right. So we'll go ahead and save this. And we'll do a V split here. Go back to this one. We'll do all right. And then we'll do so for our components. What we'll do is we'll do course import BPY, import BGE. Ooh. And we have to actually import sys. So we're going to import sys. And we need to do a path from the Blender player to this tutorial folder. So let me check that real quick. So it's going to be target directory is equal to more tutorials slash 213. And we'll do, then we have to use sys.path.append. There we go. So what this is going to do is this is going to tell the Python that's installed inside Blender, 3.11, to look in this folder to find this struct file. So once that directory's been added to the Python path, we can go ahead and do import gdata. Then we'll create our, then we have to create an instance of our objects. We're going to do struct is equal to let's go ahead and do this as GD. Struct is equal to GD dot struct dot init. Now what this is going to do is this is going to initialize struct every time the component gets reloaded, because if we just create an instantiation as an object, it turns out Blender will read this variable out of memory even though the game stopped, and any changes we make to the struct will not be updated here. So we got to do struct dot, oh no, yeah, actually that's fine, we could do that. And then struct, there we go. So it'll set it to it, then every time it'll reinitialize it. Now once we finalize the struct, we may want to take this away because it'll probably improve performance, but this happens before the game starts running, so it probably doesn't matter. Next, we'll create our component. We will create our component. I gotta start talking with a downward inflection. Okay. Class. And we'll call this component entity. And it'll inherit from our favorite class. And this is where things get fun. So we'll do args is equal to an empty dictionary. And then we'll do for key values in vars struct dot items. We'll add a value to our arguments dictionary of key equal to value. Oh, this needs to be value. Okay. Then we can start our function. And what we could do is another for loop. So for key value in args dot gonna work. Oh, let's do this. Let's create another dictionary. So we'll do arg is equal to, oh, let's call it c args for converted args. C args is equal to args. And then we'll do for key value in c args self dot object dot, we'll just do regular properties. Key is equal to value. Then we'll do our update and we'll pass. All right. So with relatively low lines of code here, we basically have created all the data we need so far to have something to manipulate in the Blender game engine. So what we can do is let's save this. Let's save this. And we'll select this empty here. So first we'll open our components folder. So open our components. Then we'll go to add and we'll do comms dot entity. Okay, what error did we get? No module named comms. It's definitely named comms. Oh, I probably need to save it. Okay. What errors are we getting? No module named gdata. Okay. What line? Line 8. Now the question is, did the cache work? Oh, I probably have to save the Python file. Let's try that first. Or save the blend file. See if I had to do anything funky. I'm gonna try saving the file as a different name, because I might have done this earlier. So write okay, that's showing up. We'll just go ahead and make it verbose. Yeah, it worked. Okay, cool. Alright, so you see we have all this stuff that showed up here. So let's go ahead and excuse me, I had to sneeze there. There's a lot of ragweed in town tonight. Ragweed. Alright. That's the wrong thing. It's my folder. Alright. So if you look here, we got our struct, and we got ent ID, ent name. I could call our little empty here Billy. HP, world position, right? So that's all great. Now what we can do is we can actually go ahead and add something else. We could add like a is dead. Set equal to bool. Then we could go here, and at the bottom of our script we could do, at the bottom of our start function we could do print self.object.get properties. Get property names. Save that. Save that. Now hopefully this struct init here will reinitialize and this will update. Because when I did this before without this dot dunder init, it wouldn't update. So we'll see. Reload the script and reload the component. Okay, it did not update. Let's save it. So the struct is still in Blender's memory here, and it's not updating. So, what can we do about that? We can close Blender. So this is saved. So we'll close Blender, and we'll reopen UPBGE. Excuse me. I was using both hands, so I couldn't turn the mic off. My bad. Okay, we'll try adding this again. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. And we'll do add Oh, we have to open the file. Okay. Okay, so now we reloaded the file after closing Blender. You'll see it shows up right here. So now we can run it and get the print output of the, oh, I'm looking at the wrong I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay, there we go. There, see, now that we've reloaded Blender, it updates the, so I don't know if that's a bug or if it's just, maybe something I have to do differently. Let's try doing new. There's no new keyword. This is not C#. Okay, we'll try that. This will probably give us an error because we didn't define new down here. Okay, let's add some more stuff. Let's add is on fire. And we'll try reloading now. This might give us an error. Okay. Yep, it tells us it doesn't like it. Try it without initializing. Yep, got it. Oh, we need to put self in there. I doubt it. Oh, I know what we'll do. We'll first initialize struct as none, and then we'll change it. So every time it should reinitialize. Alright, reload. Oh, I have to reload the script. Okay. Nope. We have to just, Yeah, we may have to find a way to clear the component cache. Other than, oh well, we'll just save the game. I'm also using 5.1. I haven't tried this in 4. So this might not be a problem in BGE 0.44. But let's load it again. Do, 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 do. Comms.entity. There it is. We may have to check some Blender options here, because there's got to be a way to clear and rebuild the Python cache. So let's take a look here. Text. Reload now. Make text file internal now. Register. Oh, that might be something to do. And then what's live edit? Let's do... Huh. Let's try that, see what happens. So let's add some more stuff. Let's see, let's do self is in water, or just called in water. Oh, we'll keep it. Is in water is equal to bool. Save it. I'm doing this just so it makes me reload it. And if we try reloading this, nope. It's not adding is in water. So it doesn't really update it live. Let's try saving it. And reload. And let's try getting rid of it and adding it. There we go. Nope. No is in water. Keeps pointing the same data, so let's try this. We'll delete struct and then we'll set struct equal to it again. Excuse me, my allergies are overwhelming today. reload. Oh, we have to do this. Nope, that's not doing it. Oh, let's unlink. Oh, it's linked to a data block. Okay. Let's uncheck the fake user. See what that does. And now if we go reload. Nope. Let's unregister it. Save and reload. Nope. That's not doing it. Let's try reopening it. Nope, it's not updating. Alright, well in 5.1, we guess just got to go ahead and close Blender. Reopen Blender. Okay. So components are a little bit broken right now, it looks like, because you have to close and reopen Blender to import a struct with this method. But let's go ahead and run it. Let's give this a name. Let's call it Sammy. Sammy the empty. And we'll press P. Too many values to unpack, huh? Oh, I know why, because I didn't do cargs.items. Okay. Let's try that again. Oh, I got to close the game. There we go. There we go. So from our struct, it converted it all into properties down here. That are in our object. So now we can just attach this entity to every object we got, and we can make it on fire. We can tell whether it's in water, right? So isn't that great? Next, what else do we want to do with this? Oh, we could also set the return type. That'd be fun. So just do there we go. Return type. I'm trying to add a new definition to our struct and just see if we have to copy it twice here. Okay, we'll try that. And let's add something else. Let's add self dot game victory equals bool. Yank that. Okay. And we'll try reloading. Not enough arguments. Try reloading and try reloading. Okay. I'm going to pause this and look some stuff up. I'll be right back. Just to make sure the blender's not broken. Alright, so from the looks of it, what we gotta do is do import lib. So I'll do import lib. I'll do this. Okay. So then right here we do import lib. Nope. Import lib dot reload. Okay. So I guess import lib is going to reload the class after we update it. So now we can add some more stuff. So we can get rid of this, which is better because we don't want to do things twice. And we'll add something like self dot current gravity is equal to float. We'll do art, reload. Okay, and we'll save this. Save this. Reload the script. And we'll reload the class. Hey, that did it. Okay. All right, awesome. So, game victory showed up. Current gravity showed up. Yeah, okay. So, let's go ahead and see an example of applying these on using this data in our struct to do stuff. So, actually, let's try this. Let's make this self.cargs. And what we'll do is we'll actually take this and copy it down here. No, that's not going to work. Okay, never mind. So these are already, yeah. So this is just an initialization struct. Anything you actually want to change will be on the properties. And then, yeah, be on the properties. And then you can save those properties to the global dict. But yeah. But theoretically, we could try this. Import BGE. And we could say world position is equal to BGE dot logic dot Get current scene dot oh. No, that ain't gonna work. Because it's just a value for storage, so it ain't gonna work. So we'll just make it. So then what can we do with it? Well, now what we can do is we could do, now we have this as our reference, right? We could say self.object dot do it in the start. Self.object.world position is equal to self.object world position. I'll go ahead and delete this, add a cube. Oh. Boom. Just do a pass. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll change its X position. Let's drag it to like 3. And now when we press play, oh, oh, I got a typo. Okay, and reload. And now I press play. And I didn't reload my script. Okay. Now if we press play, there we go. Oh, grab my game. So you see that Here's the original position, and here it is moved 3. And there you go. So here's how you use an initializing struct in UPBGE. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. Yep. You create your struct, you set it to its data types, put in your variables with their data types in the init.self. You could do a arrow operator to none to say it's not going to have a return type. Then we have to use, we import, we use syspath append and the directory that our struct is in, our GM data, right? Then we do an import. We have to use import lib and do import lib reload GM data. So every time we reload our component, it reloads the struct. And then we can just start adding data to manipulate. This way we don't have to actually use like a, we don't have to mess around and look for properties and all this. And all the properties will apply to all objects. So we could do like is platform, right? It's equal to bool. And down here we could do if is platform print uh, I hate this style. Let's change this. There we go. Print a platform. There. All right, and then we can reload our. I don't know why I put breakpoints in it. Okay. Reload. Its platform is down here. Now if we check it. Excuse me. Then we play it. He's a platform, and he was moved over here. All right, so that's how you use structs with components. So this will let you only have to type all this crap once. And use a couple for loops to get all your data on all your objects. And so this is mess. So you have a massive entity, and then all you have is system components that will reply to it, respond to it, and update it. Now the things we'll be updating is in the game space, so all that's going to go here is the initializing values, but that's how you do it. All right, thanks for watching. Go make your games, and have a great day. Bye.